in this video, I'll give you all the tips you need to know before going to California. There's a lot here in California that's quite different from what people say, things to avoid that we've been through the first few times, and several important tips, which are the coolest cities, which are really worthwhile, how do you get around California, can you only do it by car, what's the temperature like. There's one thing that surprised us the first time and we want to tell you about. Everything is in order for you to come to California as prepared as possible, guys. So don't forget to give us a like. That thumbs up is really important for us. Subscribe to the channel and buckle up. Hey guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the Grupo Dicas, the largest travel content network in the world, and today we're gonna talk about California. We live here in Orlando in the United States and we just got back from California last week. It was an incredible trip and we always come back with lots of up-to-date tips because things change, cities change, so it's nice to always be traveling and passing through. We've done a lot of different types of trips in California and I'm going to tell you about them. It's not just about the beach, there are other great things to see for yourself, how to get around, all the tips you need to stay safe. We have a safety tip there that I'm going to give you, which is very important to take into consideration, guys. So without further ado, let's go. First things first, California. Many people think of Los Angeles, and indeed, Los Angeles turns out to be the most famous city in California. I don't think it's the coolest, to be honest, but there are others that I'm going to comment here. But it's the main gateway, especially if you live outside the United States. There are only direct flights to Los Angeles. So if you plan to go to another city there, you'll probably have to stop in Los Angeles. Then you know Los Angeles and move on. So Los Angeles is the focal point of California. It's more or less in the middle of California's high. I'll put the map here so you can understand, and there are two other cities that are along with it the three most famous, that are undoubtedly the three most famous, which are San Francisco and San Diego. But one major difference between them is the climate and the temperature, both the air and the weather in the cities. These are the three cities that I think are the coolest. If you have more than 10 or 12 days in California, you can get to know all three. We've already put together a very nice 20-day itinerary. You can visit all three and a few more along the way, but if you have up to 10 days, don't fall into the trap of wanting to see everything because they're far away. Focus on two, sometimes Los Angeles, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, and some small town in the middle because they're big and there's lots to do. Los Angeles has the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood sign, Santa Monica, which is a beach, a very nice pier close to the center. There is a part that's a bit more hectic, there's a more glamorous part, Beverly Hills. It's these tours that are a bit more Hollywood. Now, if you go to San Francisco, it's a beautiful, surreal city. It's famous because of the Golden Gate, the gigantic bridge, which is beautiful. There's one thing you have to be aware of in relation to the rest of California, the climate. Many people go there thinking it's hot, California and the beach, but it's not. It's very far up. If you look at the map, it's almost in Canada. It's one of the highest cities in the United States, so that's a hint. Make no mistake, be prepared for the temperatures and why we always start this itinerary from San Francisco and work our way down to San Diego. This is a good tip because you get the coast from the beach side, the view is much more beautiful, but the temperature changes a lot. San Francisco is a cold city. In the summer it gets hotter, but it's not as hot as San Diego or Los Angeles, guys. So just go with the right expectations. San Francisco isn't very beachy. It's all about walking around, getting to know a beautiful, charming city with beautiful parks. Muirwood is a park with giant sequoias. It's a bit different from the beach, but you go downhill and you get to more accessible places. Santa Barbara is a great little town to consider for your trip, a maximum of 2 days. There's not much to see, but it's nice to stop off, and then you arrive in Los Angeles. Los Angeles already has a much warmer climate, much more Californian, so you'll be able to walk along the beach promenade outside, run without a t-shirt, in a bikini, sunbathe on the beach. It's got the California feeling to it. And as you go further down, you're heading towards San Diego. Extra tip, my favorite beach that I liked the most, and my wife too, I don't know why, but it was really nice to stop there, was Laguna Beach. No one talks about this little town directly. It has a great location between Los Angeles and San Diego, and we loved it. A very cool experience, and 2 days is fine. A small charming town, and the beach was very nice, so whoever wants to stay there, it's not expensive. I'm going to have to talk about expense. It's a boring tip, but I'll have to give it to you next. And then you're off to San Diego. It has more of a beach feel. Surfers usually only go to San Diego because it's almost in Mexico. Unlike San Francisco, which is in Canada, it's much hotter, much more intense. You can already get into the sea depending on the season. It's also cold in winter and the water gets chilly, but it's much more accessible for you to have more of a beach experience. It's a bit more beachy, and you have this California beach vibe that everybody loves. Now for the expensive part, which I said nobody really likes to hear, but unfortunately California is expensive. It's one of the most expensive states in the United States. Los Angeles and San Francisco in particular are very expensive, like New York, which is also very expensive. These are cities where you have to spend a bit more on accommodation. An extra tip is if you want to save money, try to stay less in these more expensive cities and more in the others like San Diego, where you can get cheaper hotels, those little towns in the middle, Santa Barbara, Laguna Beach, you can get some of affordable options. But Los Angeles and San Francisco are expensive, both in terms of accommodation and food, and meals. Things are a bit pricey. But come on, not just bad news. We can help you save a lot on almost everything, really everything, in your travel planning. The cheapest hotel, the cheapest tickets, travel insurance, much cheaper, car rental. So I'll tell you the tips, and I'll leave a link below in the description of the video. This link goes to a page that we've organized for you. There's a link to all the services we hire in the cheapest places, because we discovered each of these places that specialize in cheaper things. For example, travel insurance, you'll find insurance at incredible prices for $3 a day. Very good insurance, which is extremely important. Don't travel to California, especially without travel insurance, but it's cheap. The car rental comparator that I'll explain here, the website that sells all the tickets, tours and excursions, the global digital accounts. There are several things here that I'm going to mention as well, but it's all well organized, and by using these links you'll be able to save a lot, guys. It's really a lot. It's all listed there with the hotels we stayed in, so check it out. But rest assured, because we're gonna have everything here for you. And a nice tip as well, we've just come back from Napa Valley. I hadn't been there before. It was my first time, and it was an incredible experience. If you want to experience a winery, if you like wine, it's very worthwhile. It's only an hour from San Francisco, so you went to San Francisco airport, rented a car, and went there. In just an hour, you're in Napa Valley. It's a beautiful city, the American Tuscany, they joke there. There are lots of wineries, and it's a very charming place. There's a video here of all the Napa Valley tips. Put it on YouTube and you'll find it. Take a look, it's very cool. If you want to add a winery to your trip, it's a perfect complement. Now, if your days are numbered for a first trip, focus on the beach towns, focus on this more Californian approach that I think it's more worthwhile for you to enjoy. And now, how to get around California. Guys, it's hard not to rent a car in California. When it comes to cities, places, and states that you can manage without a car, I'll tell you. I'll give you all the tips, but for California, it's difficult because you'll be traveling from one city to another. If you're only staying in Los Angeles, you can get around by Uber, taxi. If you're going to San Francisco, you can just stay there too. Now, if you're going to those trips that are the coolest in California, there's no way around it. You have to rent a car. You spend a lot of money on that, but there are many ways to save money. You can save a lot on your car. Gas isn't very expensive. I think that if you fill up the tank once, you don't spend that much. Cars are economical and good, but there are a few tips that will help you save a lot on your car. And an important tip for those renting a car, you'll find that it's much cheaper. Don't go straight to the car rental companies. Use a website, which is an incredible website that we discovered years ago. We use a lot. I'll leave it here in the description. It's a car rental comparator. It compares the prices of all all the main car rental companies on the market and finds the best prices, incredible deals, and cheaper prices than the rental companies themselves. They're giants. They have a lot of negotiating power. They all want to have the cheapest price in order to appear first to customers and generate more bookings. So use the website. We use it again. We always use it, and it's the cheapest place by far. Try to prioritize the big rental companies, guys, so you don't have problems. Alamo, Avis, Budgets, Dollar, Thrifty, Six. They're all very good. They're big. Try to avoid the small ones, which are sometimes cheaper but gives you a headache later on. Then you get to the airport, rent the car quickly. It took us about 20 minutes to do everything, get the key, get the car, and leave. But it's very easy. Use the comparator that you like. And in California, the car is really important, both for visiting the beaches, the coast, San Diego, of Napa. There are many places where the car is really important. Another tip for saving money is with tickets and tours. There are lots of cool things to do in California: excursions to state parks, trips to the beach. There are also incredible amusement parks, theme parks that I'll mention here, and for all of them you need to buy a ticket. There's a very good website that I'll leave here in the description of the video for you to see. It's the same one that sells transfers from the airport to the hotel, cheaper than cab, so check it out too. It's a very good website. It's one of the biggest ticket websites in the world. We buy everything there because it always has the cheapest price, and now they have several currencies. It's not just dollars and euros anymore. For example, you can buy in your country's currency and you won't pay that high international tax. You pay cheaper. It's a great saving in the end, and it's always worked out well. And speaking of amusement parks, this is a tip that people sometimes don't pick up in places, and it's very cool. People only think of the beach in California. Of course, here in Orlando, the focus is on parks, Disney, Universal. There are more options, but California doesn't leave much to be desired. It's a state with incredible parks and Disney. For those who dream of seeing Disney and have never been to Orlando, or who like Disney and want to see the one there is the world's first Disneyland. There are 2 parks that make up the Disney California complex. Located close to Los Angeles. It takes an hour and a bit to get to Los Angeles, so plan to stay an extra day in Los Angeles if you want to see California. If you want to visit Disney California, you can visit both parks on the same day if you go early enough. There is also Universal Park. In my opinion, it's the coolest. Prioritize it. Universal Studios Hollywood is incredible. It was the first amusement park we had in our lives when we went to California for the first time, and it's surreal. There is the Simpsons area, the Mummy toy, various roller coasters, the Marvel Heroes area. It's incredible. It's a park with simulators and sensational roller coasters. And speaking of sensational roller coasters, there's also Six Flags. It's a bit further away, but you can still go. It has the biggest roller coasters in the world based on superheroes. It's really cool. And SeaWorld, which is in San Diego, for those who want to see water shows. It's a bit more for children. They like it a lot. There's also SeaWorld there, so take a look at the parks, but there are a lot of nice amusement parks. There's Lego too. I forgot about Lego. Legoland in California is really cool. The girls love it here. My 2 daughters, they like it better than Disney or Universal because it's very nice for small children. So if you're with young children, it's a park worth planning for. You can see there's a lot going on. You have to stop. You have to organize your itinerary to make the most out of your trip, but I guarantee that's really worthwhile. Oh, and guys, an important tip for all of California, and this goes for all the cities, as we use cars a lot, cell phones are extremely important. It has to have a working signal. Without the internet, you can use Wave, Google Maps, and that helped us a lot. At short notice to book a winery, a beach, research sometimes something different, an attraction, what time it closes or opens. Cell phones are very important on this California trip, especially nowadays everywhere. But for this California trip, it's more about the car. I think it's more important. So you have everything ready. You have everything organized so you can use the internet. For us, the easiest, coolest, and most advantageous way is the international prepaid chip that some companies sell. There's a very good one that we still use today. It works perfectly everywhere. There's the eSIM, which sends you a QR code by email. You can install it straight away if your phone is already compatible. You don't even need a physical SIM card, and you arrive in the United States, activate it, and leave with unlimited internet use everywhere. I'll leave it down here in the description too. Take a look at the chip, which is very good and works super well, and you need it. Otherwise, you end up getting lost on the beaches, in the vineyards, and in all of the attractions in California. And another great tip is how to carry your dollars and make payments. In Los Angeles, San Francisco, and California as a whole, we're making a lot of use of global digital accounts, which are now dominating the market. And it's much cheaper than if you buy dollars the old-fashioned way by going to an exchange office or taking a credit card. Don't do it. You'll pay a lot more. Today's global accounts can be opened in 5 minutes with your ID. It's super easy. You have a dollar account. You can top it up with dollars at the commercial rate, which is much cheaper than the tourist rate you'd pay in other ways, and you have a tax of just 1.2% compared to 6.7% for credit cards. So forget the credit cards, forget exchange office, and use global accounts. There's one we're really using that's sensational. I'll leave the link here in the description of the video for you to see and open yours. If you open it, we have a discount coupon that will give you up to $20 back on your first shipment, over $200. So they send you your physical card because you can activate it and have your card in the Apple Wallet or Google Wallet, so you can use it by swiping. We use it in California now everywhere, the airports, restaurants, shopping malls, everywhere. All the places already accept it, but my tip is to ask for a physical card. It takes a few days to arrive, so ask for it as soon as possible, and then you also have your card to guarantee it and to make withdrawals. You arrive at the airport and go to an ATM, which they call it here, and withdraw the dollars in cash with a better rate. Use the global account, which is much cheaper. You save a lot of money on the dollar rate, on buying the dollar, taxes, fees. It's undoubtedly the cheapest way today to use the money anywhere in the world, not just in the United States, everywhere else. And now to accommodation. Most places in California are hotels. There are some places in the world where Airbnb is already very common. You might be able to find it, but it's not that common. In California, we use the hotels a lot. Research, there are some cities where hotels are really expensive. Do some research. Try to get away from the more touristy areas. In this link below, which I left in the description of the video, I'll show you the hotels we stayed in, which are excellent value for money hotels with an excellent location. Take a look, see the price at your time. If it's too expensive, use the hotel finder zone too, which is very good for seeing which are the cheapest. Try to get the tourist area that we've selected for you. There is a personalized map of this closed area of each of the main cities. Take a look, do some research, but you can try to save a lot. It's not as cheap as other places, but there's a great tip for saving even more on accommodation, and a very important tip for saving a lot on hotels, especially in California where prices are high, is to book in advance. The earlier you book, the cheaper you pay. As time goes by, 1, 2, 3 weeks, the hotels automatically raise their prices because people book up and there are fewer rooms left. So what's the tactic we've been using for a long time, which works very well? Book as soon as possible. You know you're going on a trip. If you see a good one, you book it. But to avoid the hassle of canceling and incurring a fine, we use a very good website that's the largest hotel search engine in the world. I'm sure you knew it. In this hotel, link below, in the best region, it's all in this research engine we use. And what's the big deal? It has a very good deal with almost all the hotels for free cancellation, guys. So you've seen there's free cancellation, which most of them have. Book now and guarantee a good price. After a month or two and you need to cancel, or if you change the size of the room, whatever you need to change or cancel, you do it free of charge, but you're already guaranteed the lower price that you had at the time. If you don't, you see that prices are really going up very quickly. The dollar isn't cheap, so it's a tactic we've been using for a long time, and we managed to save a lot with it. And when you click on the link to the hotels that I've left here in the cities we stayed in so that you can try to find a place to stay, it may open a page with several hotels. This research is already showing a list. This is the first hotel. This is supposed to open directly to the hotel page, but sometimes there's a bug and it might open a list of all the hotels. Just click on the first one. That's the one we are recommending that you stay. And Las Vegas. When people think of California, they look at the map and say, wow, Las Vegas is close by. That's how it was for us the first time we went, and it's really close, so if you have a dream of visiting Las Vegas, it could be an excellent opportunity. You can either take a plane from Los Angeles, it's a quick flight, or you can drive by car either for Los Angeles or San Diego, which will take you between 4 and 5 hours. Check the weather, it depends a lot on where you are located there, but it's a beautiful drive in the middle of the desert. The tracks are great, incredible, it's super easy to to drive, and many people make this trip. If you have the dream, Las Vegas is cheaper than California, you find that the hotels there are half the price of those in California, and you get the nicest, most incredible hotels. So that's one option. We've got all the tips you need for Las Vegas, so you can take a look, type it into YouTube, Las Vegas tips, Gabriel Lorenzi. All our videos from the channel will appear. Take a look and you will be able to plan a great trip there. Las Vegas is really amazing. And safety. Let's talk about safety because everyone asks if California is safe. Some videos of assault and robberies are appearing. So come on, what happens? A while ago, 2 years ago, when the Democrats took office here in California, in New York, and in some other states, they made a law that up to $1,000 if you rob a store, it's not a crime. You don't go to jail. This has triggered a flurry of shoplifting, which you've probably seen. If you do some research, you'll see. So there's been a big increase in crime in stores and supermarkets, pharmacies, but with tourists, with people walking down the street, there hasn't been a significant increase. We went now, I thought it was normal. We stayed in Los Angeles, we stayed in San Francisco. What you most likely see are the men who are the street dwellers here because the number has really grown. They have their lives there, some even get a government salary, a pension, everything's fine. Only they live on the street, so just be aware. And this is a tip that we give to everyone in the world. I'm from São Paulo in Brazil. I've already experienced these tips. The tip is to always keep your bag with you. Here in Orlando too, car theft can happen if you're not careful. Don't leave your shopping in the car. If you've shopped somewhere, go straight to the hotel, leave it in the hotel room, because the thing is that they don't mug you. They break your car window and there's no one there. I've never seen personal assaults here in the United States, not someone coming at you with a gun or something and threatening you. You can't see that here because it's a crime, so they're scared to death. The police are very strict here, so you can see are these small theft things like that, but like any big city, so just come prepared. It's good to pass this on to you so that you come with the expectation, because if there isn't, you say, well, that's good, there wasn't one. Now, if you don't say anything and you feel a bit like that, it's a bit of a joke on our part too. We like to tell you everything really as it is, so you can come prepared, keep your bag closed, your bag's always with you, being connected. We've never seen anyone having a problem, only those who really end up getting distracted from things because of the trip, and then they end up getting pickpocket or something like that. So you just have to pay attention like any other place in the world, but it's really safe around. And here below, I'll leave the organized link with all the links and sites we use to organize the whole trip, the links to everything, the ones that have the best prices, that we've already experienced, that we know are quality places and service, so you can put together an entire trip based on these links. You see that you save a lot. Some links are already with discount promotions included, so save this page, use the page, and you have a much cheaper trip with the best service and of course the best price. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps us a lot. And don't forget to watch the other videos, which are really good. I'm going to leave 2 others up here, which are unmissable videos for your trip to California. So thank you very much, guys, and have nice trips.